Hey everybody, it's Kenzie and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, then hi, I'm Kenzie. What's up? So this video actually isn't going to be hair or makeup or whatever beauty related. Today I'm actually going to talk about something personal for me, my IUD experience, my Skyla IUD experience. So if you don't want to watch a video about that, if you are not here for that, then this is your warning now. You might not care to hear what I have to say. Hell, you might be a man in makeup. This might not apply to you at all. So this is your warning now to get out of here, unless you want to just keep watching just to know. Anyway, so I'm going to start talking in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so if you aren't aware, I'm Kenzie and I usually do a beauty channel, so I'm not used to actually talking about things like this. But as I said before, I'm going to be talking about my Skyla IUD experience. If you don't know what an IUD is, it is a form of birth control. It is an intrauterine device and it keeps you from getting pregnant, keeps and helps work as birth control just like the pill would or whatever, but you don't have to take it every single day. So I got mine it would be 3 years ago in a couple months. And the thing about Skyla is that you only have it for 3 years. You're supposed to get it taken out after 3 years. This is going to be my 3-year end, so I had mine taken out. If you're thinking about getting it, so this is my experience, and I will let you decide on your own if you want to get it or not. So I got mine, and I decided I wanted to be on some kind of semi-permanent birth control because I was not very great at taking birth control pills every single day. I would forget often. Then my menstrual cycle would be very irregular. It was causing me a lot of problems, so I decided to go on a more permanent form of birth control. I looked into several different forms. I looked into the depot shot, I looked into Nexplanon, and then I looked into IUDs, but I didn't know a lot about any of them. So I went to my doctor, my gynecologist, and I have a male gynecologist, and he is fantastic. He gave me a bunch of different pamphlets and stuff to kind of mull it over. I had decided that I wanted to go on Nexplanon, and if you're not familiar with that, it is inserted in your arm, and it just seemed at the time like the most rational form, I guess. I was so scared of getting an IUD because, you know, all you hear about are the negative things. All you hear are that it left your uterus and went somewhere inside your body, or it dislodged or basically became melded with your uterus and the walls, and just all kinds of weird problems. And I was terrified to get it. I didn't want to get it, and so I decided, getting one in your arm is not that bad. Or getting the shot. The depot shot, I hadn't heard a lot of great things about as far as weight gain. I already have an issue with that, so I would rather not if I didn't have to. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to try Nexplanon. I went in there, made an appointment, went in and talked to my doctor, and he basically talked me out of it because he had heard of nothing but terrible side effects with his patients. And as far as all of the things that his patients had said negative about the Nexplanon insertion thingy, whatever, he didn't recommend me to get it. He said ultimately it was my decision. I could make the decision I wanted, but he didn't recommend it because all of his patients ended up having it removed. They didn't care for it. They wanted it gone. So he directed me in the he pointed me in the direction of Skyla, or I can't remember the other one, but he really suggested me getting Skyla. Now, I had not even heard of this. I had just heard of like Mirena and things like that. The one that, you know, I've heard of all these other ones, and I didn't know a lot about him. I was really skeptical, and he told me that, you know, any of his clients, he hadn't personally reported any kind of problems with it, that they loved it, that they really enjoyed having basically a hands-free form of birth control, and that was great for them. So I decided that that was what I was going to get. I had a couple different friends that I found out that actually had that, talked to them about their experiences. They loved having it, so I got it myself. So getting it, I will give you people a warning because I was not given a warning. They told me, and everybody's different and everyone's bodies are different, but this sucked so bad. Like, getting this thing was up there with some of the worst pain I've ever had, mostly because I didn't know what to expect. So they tell you before you go in, they suggest taking some kind of like anti-inflammatory, so I didn't think that I need it, so I didn't take it, and but I definitely recommend taking something before you go in. It starts out like a normal pelvic exam, you know, speculum and everything, and then all of a sudden you get like the worst pain that you've ever had. And if you haven't had a baby, which I don't think they give you Skyla if you haven't had children, because that's the whole point. Skyla is significantly smaller than like all the other IUDs, Skyla and Kylina. So when they give you it, it hurts like hell. That was some of the worst pain I've ever had. And what I think is also worse, like terrible about it, is that you can't see what's going on. So you don't know what's happening. You just feel someone poking, prodding, and stabbing around in your downstairs. You don't know what's happening, and it's terrible. And it's just a lot of pinching in an area that's not used to having anything in it. So as far as like my uterus and my cervix and things like that. So I get it, and thank goodness that my mom just happened to be with me that day. Normally I don't take her with me to the gynecologist, but we had other stuff to do, and she was with me. So we went and got this. I'm glad she was there because I couldn't drive home. I was in an immediate pain and had a hard time walking out of there. I had cramps immediately, what I thought were cramps. Turns out they're labor pains because, like I said, never had anything up in my cervix before. So my body was giving me labor pains and I was having contractions because never had anything in there. Not used to feeling things in there. So my body was pissed. I thought that I could still go to work. I was scheduled to work that day, and I still went to work. I was there for 10 minutes before I had to go home. And while I was at work, at the time I was working at a pizza place and I was rolling dough, and I was curled up in a ball on the floor. My boss came in there to check on me and was freaking out, asked if I needed to go to the hospital, and I was like, no, I just need to go home. So I went home and spent probably the next week curled around a heating pad, taking hot baths, choking down anti-inflammatories, things like that, because I was still having cramps, labor pains, whatever. I was having a lot of pain. It sucked so bad. Getting it is absolutely terrible. That being said, having the damn thing was one of the best decisions of my life because I didn't have to worry. I did not have to worry about not taking my birth control that day and getting pregnant before I was ready. I didn't have to worry about, you know, just all the things that come with taking birth control. My hormones weren't all over the place. I actually stopped having a period a year into having the IUD. I stopped having it actually the week before my wedding, which was really convenient and terrifying at the same time, because I started the week of my wedding and then stopped way before and then never had one again. So that was awesome because I didn't have to worry about it. And so this is my third year, and 2 weeks ago I just had it taken out, and everybody's bodies are different. Getting it taken out was way different than getting it put in. People that I talked to had scared me that getting it taken out was just as bad as getting it put in. And I brought my husband with me to the gynecologist's office, basically to hold my hand and drive me home, because I was scared to death that I was going to be in that much pain again. So he came with me. My doctor gave me 3, 2, 1, yanked it out. That was it. It was a pinch and that was it, and it was over. And you're back to full fertility in 2 weeks. It can take up to a month if you're trying to conceive. It can take up to a month to get back to your full levels, 5 months permanently, unless you're experiencing other issues. I didn't have any problems with mine. I had one problem, but it's more personal. It was more of a me issue than it was with the Skyla, so I won't get into that. But overall, I recommend if you're looking for a more semi-permanent, basically put it in, forget about it kind of thing, totally recommend Skyla. I've heard great things about Kylina as well. If you are like hyper with hormones, like you're already having an issue with your hormones, maybe Skyla's not for you because it does produce a lot of hormones. Maybe try others, but basically talk to your doctor about what he or she suggests for you. Do your own information, or my God, talk to your doctor about what they suggest for you. Do your own research, because that's what I did after and made my decision on what I was gonna get. And I totally suggest Skyla because it was perfect for me. I loved it. I had a great experience. Like I said, I didn't think I'd end up having it my full 3 years, but I did have it the full 3 years and had it taken out. And so, yeah, like I said, getting it is the worst experience. Getting it sucked, but it is different for everybody. I've talked to some people that said it wasn't bad at all, and I've talked to other people that had my experience and absolutely hated it and wanted to die the whole time. But like I said, the negative experience of getting it was way depleted by how positive the entire overall thing has been. So as I said, I definitely recommend getting it if you're looking for a serious form of birth control where you're not having to worry constantly about forgetting your birth control or whatever. I definitely suggest that. So I just wanted to hop on here. I've had a bunch of people asking me about it. I wanted to finally talk about my experience, and yeah, so if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. I know this isn't my normal content, but I want to try to get into more lifestyle videos or things that more women or whoever can relate to. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out my channel and hit that bell button so you're notified every time I post a video. Okay guys, that's all I wanted, and that's all I wanted to talk about today. So I love you so much. Thanks for watching my video. Mwah. I'll see you next time.